Good evening, I am Dalal King. At a period when the global residential real estate market is facing tough times, how is the GCC residential real estate market shaping up? To find out, we have with us today Karthik Ramesh, who will be shedding some lights from the GCC Residential Real Estate Report, which was recently published by Markaz. Hello, Karthik.
Hi.
Can you provide us a general overview of the global residential markets post the recent economic crisis?
Sure. During 2006, the global housing market tumbled due to the economic crisis. But over the past couple of years, key markets have started showing an increasing trend. If you take the case of the US market, it's being characterized by low stock supply, and the general economic rebound has led to an increase in demand for the housing units in the US. This is also supported by the falling unemployment levels in the country. If you look at Europe, Germany is the best market for the housing sector. UK is again starting to show uptrend, but is still not at the levels of the other economies. But there are a couple of economies in the European sector like Spain and Ireland, which are reeling under crisis even now. Looking at the emerging economies like India and China, they were able to survive the housing crisis, but over the last couple of years, they're showing signs of deceleration in the sense that this is a oversupply of housing created in these economies.
Okay. And how do you think have the countries in the GCC fared in the residential real estate market during and post the economic crisis?
To wade the crisis, the governments in the GCC countries made a lot of significant investments in the real estate sector. And apart from that, they tried to partner with private companies to avert the shortage of supply. Now, looking at a country perspective, Saudi Arabia has introduced a mortgage law, which we feel will make a big impact on cutting down the shortage of supply. Qatar, we all know that it has recently won the bid to host the FIFA 2022 World Cup, which we feel is going to be a huge boost to the real estate market. This is because we feel that there will be a large influx of expat population due to the various investments in infrastructure projects related to this sporting event. When we look at Bahrain, they recently announced a strategic plan, a 5-year plan to avert the shortage of supply in residential housing units. But when you look at Oman and Qatar in specific, we feel that there might be a situation where there will be an oversupply of housing markets. This is mainly due to the fact that the houses which are developed by these developers are not in line with the trends which is required by these tenants.
And according to you, what are the key demand drivers for the GCC real estate sector?
Economic growth is one of the key demand drivers which we feel will boost the housing demand. If you see the countries in the GCC, they witnessed economic growth even during the economic crisis. This is mainly due to the fact that there was a huge spike in oil output during that time, and they also made significant investments in the non-hydrocarbon sector. If you see the proportion of GDP contributed by non-hydrocarbon sector, it was close to 51% during 2011. This is a major boost for the sector because of this contribution, there were huge investments being made in the infrastructure sector. Now, because of this, there was a huge influx of population into the communities, which again increases the demand for residential real estate. The second major factor is demographics. If you look at the population in the GCC, it has risen to around 45 million in 2011 from around 33 million in 2004. This is mainly due to the fact that these investments which are planned in these infrastructure sectors has created an influx of expats from all around the world. Apart from that, the general population has also been, the local population has also witnessed an increase in trend over the past couple of years. And the third main point which we see is the urbanization rate. The 75% of the population live in the urban areas of GCC. Now, these three demand drivers put together will increase the rentals and the prices of land due to limited availability of land in the urban areas.
And can you highlight the steps that have been taken by the GCC governments with respect to the residential real estate sector?
In Saudi Arabia, a housing ministry was formed in 2011 to deal with the housing supply in the region. And REDF, or better known as the Real Estate Development Fund, the corpus was increased in this fund to make sure that the low and middle income people get houses.
Okay.
UAE has enjoyed an unprecedented boom in the housing real estate from 2002 because foreign ownership was allowed in that year. But recent regulations have been put in place to cap the speculation which has driven up the housing prices. And Qatar has 3 zones in the country which allows for foreign ownership, and it is now allowing giving away residence permits without any local sponsorship. In Bahrain, the government has partnered with the private developers in a bid to boost the low-income household development. In Kuwait, the Kuwait government is expected to enter into public-private partnership model to implement its 8-year housing strategy. And the government of Oman has increased its corpus fund to again build more low-income housing units.
The residential real estate sector certainly seems better off in the GCC region when compared to its global peers. Given the persisting uncertain economic conditions globally, what do you think are the key challenges faced by this sector in this region?
So first key challenge which we think is liquidity constraints. Due to the global economic crisis, there was a credit crunch, and because of which there was low liquidity prevalent in the market. Now, because of this low liquidity, a lot of these projects, housing projects, got delayed or even cancelled. So if another situation like that appears and credit gets further crunched, then it's going to impact the housing sector again. Second key challenge is financing issues. If you look at mortgage financing in the GCC, it's extremely low when compared to its global peers. And mortgage financing is primarily given only to low-income households. This we feel is again a major challenge for the housing sector. The third key challenge we believe is the rising cost of construction. Costs of construction over the last couple of years have increased due to shortage of cement supply as well as huge demand for unskilled labor force. If these situations prevails in the region, then we feel that the cost of construction is going to go even further up, which will be a key challenge for the sector. The fourth key challenge is the risk of oversupply. We've seen that due to the economic growth, a lot of projects have been given, and if there's a lull in the economic situation, we feel that this could result in an oversupply of houses. And the other problem would be a lack of quality housing available, like we witnessed in the regions of UAE and Qatar.
Thank you, Karthik, for your insight and for shedding some light on the GCC residential sector.
Thank you.